right, let's talk about training splits. Not training for the splits. We're not going to try to open up our adductors so much that we hurt ourselves. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about training splits. So when I say training splits, I'm talking about how you approach your workouts. Do you like to do your chest or pressing movements, a push if you will, on one day and maybe a pull on the next day? Or do you like to combine them? Do you like to do single body part stuff? I don't like that, just so you know right away. Single body parts once a day, not really a fan of that. I think it's very inefficient use of your time and not necessary unless you have a lagging body part and you have a day off and you want to get some more reps in, a little more hypertrophy, muscle building, then you can do that. But I would not make that your regular workout split. So I would not go in and one day be like, okay, today I'm going to work my biceps, tomorrow I'm going to work my triceps, tomorrow I'm going to work my chest, tomorrow I'm going to work my back. None of that. It's a waste of time. So training splits, when we're talking about time, that is one of the key components. How much time do you have to allocate to your workout? If you don't have much time, I would recommend a 3-day-a-week full body workout split. So on a Monday, we're going to use, these days are generic. They're not the days you have to use. It'll be dependent upon your obligations to work, family, that kind of thing. You'll need to balance it out. But let's say you have 3 days. I would space those out every other day. So this is just for an example. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you're doing your resistance training, full body workout. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturday, you do some cardio work. I think that that's a nice way to get it in, and you can probably do everything in, let's say, under 45 minutes each time if you pair the proper exercises. So you're going to want to find multi-joint movements that you can do, compound type exercises, and you want to probably find about 4 of them that work your entire body with those 4 exercises and circuit them. So that's one thing you can do if you have a time crunch. You really are crunch for time, then try to do it that way. You'll get a little more out of it. You'll still be very effective, and you should still be able to meet your goals as long as your nutrition is on point. Now, what's another way you can work out? You could do a push workout one day, a lower body workout the next day, and then a pull workout the next day. And then you can skip resistance training that following day, do some cardio, and then you could kind of repeat that. That's another way to do it. You could pair, like what I'm doing right now in the phase of training I'm working on, is you could do a push and a pull on the same day. So today I'm going to work my chest workout and my back workout. So I'm going to be pushing and pulling the big muscle groups, the chest and the back. Those are my 2 main focuses today. And then tomorrow would be a cardio day for me. Then the next day I would do a lower body day, my quadriceps and hamstrings, a little bit of calf work. I'm not too focused on the calves right now, and maybe a little bit of the anterior tibialis muscle, just a little bit. And that's something you might want to work on. And I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but if you're having problems with like dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, those are the things where you might want to throw in more calf or more anterior tibialis type of work. And then you get done with that lower body work. The next day you do a cardio. The next day you come back and maybe you hit your shoulders, your biceps, and your triceps. I love that one. Very efficient use of my time, but it can be a little more time consuming for the normal person. I just happen to have some extra time because this is my job. This and little side projects. So you also have to, kind of figure that out with your space. Now, the other thing you could do is you could do your push workout one day. So all your chest workout, your pressing, all that stuff. You could go chest, triceps, shoulders. Next day, maybe hit the lower body or skip altogether and do a cardio. The next day, come back, do some lower body work. The next day, come back and do some pulling. And now we're doing the back. We're doing the biceps. We do those on one day. Next day, cardio again. The next day, we kind of return through the circuit of those days, and we start again. But I like breaking it up with a day of resistance training followed by a day of cardio, if that's how you're going to do it. You can also do your workouts if you have the time. Some people do. They have the time. They don't have anything else going on maybe, or they just, they're just very efficient at using their time. If you are, then you could always do like a workout that Maybe you do something in the morning. If you're a 2-day workout person, yeah, good for you. You could come in and you could do like your pressing movements or your push in the morning, your pull in the evening. You could also go, I'm going to do pushing in the morning, I'm going to do some cardio in the evening. Do like 30 minutes of steady state, or maybe like today I did a little bit of interval training, so that's more on the high intensity side. And now I'm going to do this workout where I do my push and my pull, my chest and my back together. And when I do that, I alternate. So the nice thing about a push and a pull is that you're working opposite muscles, opposing muscle groups. So I can start and I can do something that is chest related or back related first with one exercise. So like today, I might start off with a pull-up, and then possibly I'll probably do a pull-up and then superset that with a high row to get the upper back muscles, a little bit more of the upper and middle trapezius. And then I'll do a pressing movement for my chest, so probably the incline bench press, and I might superset those all together, or a giant set if you will, because we're talking about more than 2 exercises. And then I'll give myself a little rest between, and then I'll do it again. And I'll probably do like 3 or 4 sets of that before I switch to the next angle that I'm going to hit, which would probably be, if I'm doing a pull-up, then the next thing I do is probably going to be more of a regular standing row or seated row, and then so on, and then hit the lower back. So I like to hit all angles of the muscle group: upper chest, middle, lower, upper back, middle, lower, that kind of thing. So think about it like that too when you're working on your training programs, when you're talking about your resistance training. Cardio, have fun with it, right? Have fun with your cardio when you're doing it and you're figuring it into your training splits. You might not have a lot of time. If you don't, do some sprints. Interval sprints are great. And then you can take a little less time, but jack that heart rate up. So we're talking about like a quick 20 seconds maybe on the treadmill as fast as you can. And I say 20, people will be like, oh, I can't sprint for 20 seconds. That's a long sprint. It is, but the problem is that if your treadmill's not up to speed, high speed already, and it has to get to that point, it burns a lot of that time off just trying to get to that peak speed that you're looking for. So 20 seconds roughly, a good sprint. If you're out on the street and you're running maybe from one telephone pole or one light pole, you can sprint to the next one and then go back into a jog for a couple of them, and then sprint again from one to the next. Throw in about 4 or 5 sprints, you're good to go. Rowing machines, ERG machines, swimming in the pool. What else could you do? You can do sprints pretty much with anything. Just depends on what you like. Airdyne bikes, that's basically a sprint, right? You're using your full body with that. So play with your cardio, have fun with it. Don't be so boring with it. You can even do some resistance exercises with it and build them into intervals like we do here at Longevity. So plenty of options for your cardio so that you don't just sit there on a treadmill on an incline for 40 minutes or whatever, going completely bored and wondering why the hell you're doing this to yourself. Make it fun, make it exciting, make it something you want to do and that you will do on a relatively consistent basis. And then get your nutrition in check, right? And you'll see some great results. If you have specific questions regarding your training split or want some ideas, some help, some solutions, just comment below. I'll help you guys out. Take care.